this is the only way I know how to actually like verify that I'm live. Stream running. Okay, but it seems that it is live. Okay. Yeah, this is the only way I know how to. Okay. So we got that going. We're on the Google here. Sorry for the bright whiteness. I'm trying to get dark mode figured out. I made a new user account on my computer to have the streaming all happen on not a desktop that's full of my normal day-to-day stuff. And I'm realizing I forgot to actually add my webcam. So, I think video capture device. Yep, okay. And what the? Wait, what? Oh, okay. Well, let's look at these settings. By golly, I don't know what the fuck any of this is gonna do. Okay. Can we make this high res? Yeah, okay. Okay, so webcam is on. Seems to be functioning somewhat. Let's see, I'm gonna move it over to the right side there. And let's just go back on YouTube and just want to make sure this looks functional. Excuses, I'm not a professional YouTuber. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Let's see, I'm gonna move it over to the right side there. And this is defaulting to YouTube and yeah, okay, if I do that high. Okay, sure, it's the me inception. It's functional. But excuses, I'm not a professional YouTuber. Well, okay. That works well enough for now. So let's start with it. So I'm Billionaire. I'm in lesbians with you. Yeah, there's the Billionaire Buster channel. I'm Alex. I be busting on the billionaires. It's a lovely Sunday outside. See out the window a little bit there. And been having a pretty okay weekend. My fiance caught a cold on Friday, and I think they might have gotten it from me because I had like a mild cold on Wednesday. So that was just a little bit of a downer, just because they were pretty sick and out of it the last 2 days, but they're feeling better today. And yeah, so I'm in my room. I ordered a bookshelf from IKEA, and I built the bookshelf. I don't have much on there yet, but I really needed a bookshelf to put things on in this room, because so far it's like the top of the safe, my desk, you can't really see it, but my desk just has all kinds of things on it, some of which are getting moved onto the bookshelf. But yeah, it's all just, it's a work in progress when you move into a new space and you finally have way more space after so many years. So for this stream, I added a little bit to the title. First things first, though, we're going to just have GoFundMe pulled up. Okay, see, that does the YouTube black. Yeah, okay. Looking at OBS sometimes. I should figure out, because I got my second screen on the right side, but I have my mic on the left. But then sometimes when I'm looking that way, I'm then not looking at the mic. Maybe I'll see about changing that up sometime. Until that, though, let's just get the get the GoFundMe open. So this stream's probably not going to be on the stream. Will probably be on the shorter end. If anything, it might be 90 minutes, it might just be 60 minutes. I got plans with friends later, so I don't want to delay myself too long from hanging out. But yeah, so do a GoFundMe. We'll do a donation to someone in a minute. And then if you can see from the stream title, I figured be a guy to do. Want to give myself a little break from looking at the Forbes list of billionaires and recoiling in horror at their crimes and their selfishness. So I figured for this one, I do at least like a political compass test, because I haven't done one in a bit. I know there's the 4-quadrant political compass is a very subjective thing. It's not some it's not some divine indicator of all of a person's political mores. But I know from the good tests, I mean, the decent one, I think that's the one that's most popular. I think it throws 50 questions at you, and it gives you 5 or 6 possible answers for each question. So doing it on a stream, I think it's I'm going to end up somewhere in the bottom left quadrant, the lib left, the green quadrant, because I'm a Vosh watcher. That shit's all a bit arbitrary and subjective, but it's still, I think it's good to do, and I think just because there's been a very political tone. I'm gonna scoot over. I gotta figure out things with my setup. It's all work in progress. I am making changes though. But since there's a political, undercurrent to all the stuff I'm doing here, I figure it'd be a good idea to, just do an actual political questionnaire and just, all the different topics it throws at me, I can give my answers, and just that can serve as a bit of a record, so anyone watching this in the future, you got an idea of where I'm coming at things from and what my stances are. Sorry, I got a little bit of hiccups or something. I don't know why. It could be because of this very carbonated Dr. Pepper whiskey I'm drinking. In fact, that is almost certainly the case. And so, we're on GoFundMe. I've been loving the financial emergency tab. Great to be able to lift a little bit of the burden on people going through horrible and tragic situations. So this guy looks like he got fucked up. Let's see what Jetrons. Never seen that name before. Let's see what this guy's having to deal with. Okay, on Friday, September 2nd, Jetron Alejo was taken by ambulance to Oregon Health and Science University Hospital in Portland, Oregon, where he underwent surgery for a head injury. He collapsed during a football game. Jetron needs to be hospitalized, where he needs time to heal and rest. He had surgery and had a 50-50 chance of life when he arrived in the hospital. Wait, whoa. The doctors took out half of his left head skull, so the left side of his head will stop swelling. Until now, he can't move half of his body, and he still can't walk. Doctors are working on his recovery, and he is also working with a speech pathologist. It is a long journey. Yeah, that's going to be a whole time of many medical bills, home expenses, and time off from work for his family. I'm doing this to help Jetron's parents because he still has 2 underage siblings. I want to ensure that the financial burden, America, this accident is not something they are focusing on in Jetron's recovery. Our goal is $10,000. Okay. And this was created 3 days ago. They're at $7,000 already. I'm curious to take a little scroll down, and okay, no updates. Sometimes there's an update. It can be interesting to see, especially with the medical ones. See if they're doing better. But yeah, let's throw some money towards this guy who is just not having a good time with the head trauma. And so for making the actual donation, I'm going to pull this up on my other screen that isn't being streamed because I'm going to be entering my credit card info. So rather not have that on the screen. And since I'm on a new desktop, I need to actually enter my credit card number manually instead of just doing the Google autofill, which is fine. That's just life. The name on the card, why, that's me. And before I drop my shit, and before I spell my name with 2 L's for some reason. Okay. We donate. Save the card in Google. Okay, there we go. And, ooh, yeah, I haven't. Oh, yeah, is this the password for the Facebook? I believe it is. Yeah, okay. Google. Fuck, man. The gripping password entering content that the world needs. Okay. Where is... There it is. Alright. Posting it to Facebook. Because the Facebook, at least currently, exists as a record. For Twitter, I'm at least... Yeah, the Twitter account I made, it got banned within like 10 minutes. But I made it using like the email and the username I want to use. So I like contacted Twitter support. So, you know, we'll see when the fuck I hear back from them. But because yeah, I'd like to have a Twitter going on this. I might tweet at some billionaires, and in general, I have plans to talk shit and ask snippy, pointed questions at people who say stuff I think is dumb. Because that's what Twitter's for. I don't consider Twitter like a good website. Like the main reason to go there, I feel like it's just kind of to like fight. I don't know. It's a dumb website, but yeah, I can have fun with it for my purposes. But so, with that out of the way, okay, I don't know why it says it twice. It's not the end of the world if I don't, but just, yeah, alright. I did this once before. I think that might just be something to do with it being like the first one. Okay. So we got that done there. And now, yeah, okay, see now I got the black background for Google. I'm someone who's on the PC a lot. Yeah, I definitely prefer the dark or night mode backgrounds to the, you know, the blaring white light. People are memeing about that with like Elden Ring, that when you turn the game on for the first time, there's like a full screen flash of white before it shows like the From Software logo or something. So it's like when you quit the game, you know, when you quit the game, it's just like the sun shining into your face. Solaris personally trying to damage your vision. Political compass test. All right, let's see. Yeah, I'm looking for the one that. Yeah, okay, it's this one. So fun to do. So fun to do. Oh, well, let me just check the home page. All right, there's some interesting things there. All right, I'm gonna just pick up my mouse It's a little awkward with where it is. Okay, so the political compass test is going to be... I'm going to be taking this fairly seriously. And compared to some of the right-wingers I've seen do videos of themselves taking the test, vis-a-vis Vosh, watching their videos of them taking the test, I should be able to actually answer the questions and not be a fucking coward who has to misinterpret everything because my actual positions are, like, fucking evil, so... It's always the annoying thing of, like, fucking... So many conservatives will, like, pretend that they're not conservatives, and it's like, why do you even have a political position if you can't... Like, I'm aware that some of the things I believe, like, aren't popular, aren't well-liked in certain circles, but, like, I don't, like... I don't know, it's like... I've seen an anime before, so, like, I'm not a pussy about what I actually care about. Enough about that, though. So, okay, let's see. Let's read the preamble before taking the test. Please note that this isn't a survey, and these aren't questions. They're propositions. Question the logic of individual ones that irritate you is to miss the point. That was Michael Knowles taking this test. Like, every other question, he had to have some issue with the premise, because he's, like, a retarded kind of fascist. I mean, most fascists... He's the kind of fascist where it's, like, it's not clear if he is aware that he's a fascist. Because being a fascist kind of makes you stupider. But, some propositions are extreme and some are moderate. That's how we can show you whether you lean towards extremism or moderation on the compass. Your responses should not be overthought. Some of them are intentionally vague. Their purpose is to trigger reactions in the mind, measuring feelings and prejudices, rather than detailed opinions on policy. So that sounds good to me. Page 1 of 6. Just a few propositions to start with concerning no less how you see the country and the world. And I'm sure I've mentioned it, but I'm currently living in the US of A. Born and raised. Though I have been to some other countries on vacations and whatnot in life. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interests of transnational corporations. So this is going to be kind of lefty 101, but when you have humans and you have a business entity, humans, people matter. Businesses are arbitrary. I'd always support my country, whether it was right or wrong. Well, because my name is not George Bush. Wrong. Right, it's... Okay, I'll try to just be quick on these, because, yeah, otherwise I could go on, like, a fucking half-hour diatribe about any of these. But there was some time in, like, the early 90s, during the first Bush's term, where we, like... For some reason, it was, like, the U.S. military, like, mistakenly shot down a passenger jet and killed, like, several hundred civilians who were on board. And then George Bush, the firster, was like, I will never apologize for my country, right or wrong. And it was like, what? I'm just, I'm learning about this, like, way after the fact, because I don't know if I was even born yet. Actually, yeah, shit, I wouldn't have been born yet, because I was born in 93, so Clinton was president. But just... That seems like a really awful attitude. That just seems... Because that's the thing I just never get about this stuff, where it's like, why is it so fragile? Like, you love America, but you also, like, can't accurately perceive of anything it actually does. Yeah, if America does something bad, you did not see it, so it's like, so what the fuck do you actually love? You're just writing fan fiction. It's like saying your favorite series is Harry Potter, but you've never read the books. You just read fan fiction, and yet it's your favorite. It's just like, what's the point? No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. That'll give and agree. It's just one of those things where, like, pride can be a few different things. So, I know it's like there's the, for some reason people seem to get confused by this. Some of it could be legitimate, but, there's, like, the sense of pride, or being proud, where it's, like, in an opposition to shame. And that's the kind of proud that's, like, a lot more positive. That's where you get, like, LGBT pride, because it's pride in opposition to a lot of shame they get. I'm gonna turn my camera angle down a little bit. Okay, yeah, it's a little better. I need to futz with my settings. OBS went all back to defaults because I'm on the new account, so I had to try to reset up OBS. So I mean, it seems functional for now. But otherwise, I'll say agree because you get to the whole where it's just it's like, what's the end game of nationalism? One country takes over the world. That's lame. That's pretty cringe. And why is there not just a link to? Give me the homepage of YouTube when I'm on YouTube. Okay, this is what I get being on a new account. Whoa, Billionaire Buster is streaming. And just anime click, just porn exists, guys. Porn exists. You don't need to be doing this. You can just go on an adult website. When it asks you if you're 18, you just say yes. Nothing bad happens when you do that. Alright, we're not going to listen to this because of the whole thing, though. But it's, yeah, Doug Stanhope making fun of, like, nationalism because it's being proud about stuff that people who weren't you did, and that's kind of weird, so. Our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. Now, with this question, what we really need to get at is what do they mean by a race? Because strongly disagree. Fuck race. Dumb concept. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'll say disagree because, yeah, I mean, definitionally, they could also just still be an enemy. They could potential friend, potential ally. No one's not aware of this, but it's also not. Sometimes the enemy of your enemy is your enemy's enemy, and that's about it. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. I'll say agree on the stance that military action could be like a lot of things, and like, I don't know, what the fuck is international law? Like, how did, the UN is, not shame on the UN, but just, there's a lot of arbitrary, I'm not inherently going to, if the raid that killed Osama bin Laden was against international law, then I'm obviously like, yeah, but like, fuck Osama bin Laden, though. That was like one of the few good things the U.S. military has ever done in my life. They just flew in, capped him, got the fuck out. Good job, SEAL Team 6. And the leftiness in me is like, I mean, it's good to have a system of law where no one wants to break the laws because they're good laws. But as a lefty, I mean, and as an American, I mean, the whole creating genesis of my country is based on rejecting the rule of law. So it's like, I don't know, let's stop pretending. Let's stop pretending law is anything other than like rules other people enforce on people, for better or for worse. It's not like I'm anti-law. It's just like laws can also be bad. So fuck that. There is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. See, this question is just a little tricky because there's kind of two parts of it. There's the worrying fusion of information and entertainment. And then, but also, there is now, which is like a time frame kind of question. And it's like, if say for example, just if I think like this fusion happened in like the 80s or something, then would it be I disagree? Because, but so let's just, there is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. I'll say agree with the color in. The color I'm going to add to that question is I'm just thinking about all those TikToks where it's just a person looking at the webcam and they're just saying potentially true information, but they're just saying it at the webcam, and just that's the TikTok, and then the TikTok, and it's like, hey, guess what, liberals? Did you know that actually in 1970, it's just like, because what the fuck is that? That's just a person. It's no sources provided. I don't know. I've seen enough people just make an entertaining video where they just were wrong, where they were just factually wrong about shit. That like, so I'll give an agree. Because that's, yeah, I think that hurts. Now the economy. We're talking attitudes here, not the FTSE index. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Okay. Yeah, I mean, stocks are dumb. People are ultimately divided more by class than by nationality. It's a little bit contextual, but you know what? I'm a lefty. I'll say strongly agree. Controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. Yeah, see, this is one of the ones where I can at least see where someone would, because just it's like, you know, this doesn't make it a bad test. It's good that it makes you ask the kind of questions where I see that question and I'm asking myself, what does that mean? Like this, I'm going to lean towards disagree, just because I don't like they can both be problems. They're also both things that I feel it's generally accepted. There's supposed to be some of it. Because it's one of those things where I can get where it's like you don't want 0% unemployment, because if there's 0% unemployment, then that means it's like impossible to find anyone for a job, and like that's actually like a problem then. And inflation can obviously be a problem. There's plenty of historical examples of countries like having a bunch of issues and then having runaway inflation, and then that just inflating their other issues. So. But, like, I don't know. We'll just say disagree, because I don't have a strong feeling there. Because corporations cannot be trusted, strongly agree. From each according to his ability, to each according to his need, is a fundamentally good idea. Huh, you know, I wonder who that quote's attributed to. I wonder. The freer the market, the freer the people. I'm going to do a disagree. I'm not going to say strongly disagree, because, like, you know, but I'm also not going to be, like, because you start, you run into conflicting things. It's the, you know, the slave trader's freedom to buy and sell people versus the slave's freedom to not be legally classed or treated as a slave. You know, I kind of, lean towards the one that actually has better outcomes for humans. It's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. I'll give that one the mild agree, because I don't like capitalism, and like there's issues with bottled water. God, there are fucking issues with bottled water and water access. That's a whole just human rights issue in a lot of places. But again, it's one of those things where it's kind of the contemporary aspect where it's like this is now happening, and it's like, I mean, it's like Coca-Cola is over 100, Coca-Cola soda, but like Coca-Cola is a 19th century invention. So like, I don't know what now means. Or it's also just in a capitalist economy, the selling of beverages is like rather expected. right? Because it's like our society, but you know, I've been to different societies, I've been to different countries, and they all had beverages for sale. You know, you can buy water out of a vending machine in Tokyo, like it's. So I don't know. So yeah, it just gets the agree because I'm like, there's a sentiment here that like, yeah, I'd rather. You know, I'd love it if everyone just got just every week, the government postman just dropped a gallon or two of water off at your door. Fuck it. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. I'm going to strongly agree because, yeah, God, that sure is, that's the root of a lot of fucking issues. All the landlord shit and real estate speculation and it is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. Yeah. Oh, there's a kitty. Oh, there's a kitty. Yeah, because I put the bookshelf here, I moved the cat's platform tree to the other side of my desk. Don't know if I'll keep it there, but so now I got to count the other side of me. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. That's like, so I'm not super knowledgeable on protectionism. But then it's like the question itself already has the word sometimes in it. So it's like they're already like not making it a full commitment in the question. So I'm going to say disagree. Because my instinct direction in my mind is that I'm thinking that there could be a situation where protectionism could have certain benefits, but I think there's generally always either like alternatives you could take, or there are alternative actions that could have been taken beforehand that would have let you avoid the situation. So I'm leaning just towards disagree, but I don't, you know, I could be presented with an example with like a hypothetical setup of like a economic trade situation where I could like understand a group or a country going in like a protectionist direction for a bit. And I don't have a super deep like knowledge opinion on that kind of thing. One of my biases, that's probably, I was like not big on the nationalism and the patriotism stuff. So one of my biases that's going to be here is just, you know, I feel, you know, I sometimes try to identify as a human living on Earth a little bit before I identify as like an American living in America. Because I was, you know, I'm an American. I live in America. I've gone to watch fireworks and eat hot dogs on the 4th of July. I dressed up as a kid and went door to door for treats on Halloween. You know, I do American shit. I literally ate 2 hamburgers earlier for lunch. All right, I'm an American. Fuck yeah. But it's like, you know, just my entire life, I've interacted with products or culture or things and items that were from other countries and cultures besides America, and I've never once regretted that. You know, one of my earliest memories of like a show I like is Power Rangers, which, you know, there's the American version of it, but the American version, all the fight scenes were still from the Japanese version, and then when you look up, it's like in Japan, it's like, I think it's called like Super Sentai shows or whatever. But you look up in Japan and it's like, oh, Power Rangers? No, there are like 80 different Power Ranger shows. There are like, not just like, you know, the Power Rangers are one thing, but then there's like Kamen Rider, and it's like, you're American. It's like, you never heard of Kamen Rider, but it's like, oh, Kamen Rider? Yeah, it's like Power Rangers. Look at this. It's like Power Rangers, but they're not Power. Here's Kamen Rider and the Power Rangers. Okay, my webcam's you get the point. But it's like, yeah, that's a Japanese show. It's cool. I don't know. I'm playing Mass Effect 2 again. I had a campaign going. I had a file going. I'm getting back on it so I can actually beat that game for once. And it's like, Mass Effect 2, you're Shepard, you're a human, you're from Earth, but it's like, you're not dealing with like a specific country on Earth's government, because it's just when you're at the scale of like Mass Effect and you got the whole galaxy and different species and colonies on other planets, it just seems to me like really petty and inefficient to have this like, oh, but the people from this particular landmass under a specific political organization on Earth, they're the ones who are going to start a colony on this far-flung planet because apparently us Earthlings can't get our shit together enough to like cooperate. I just feel like at some sense it just kind of I don't see what's so bad about like eventually having some kind of convergence in humanity where just become together enough, like a common band of a brotherhood. It's like what Christ wanted for us, the Jesus. Because aren't we all God's children? But yeah, so that's going to come out some of my questions here, because it's like, when it's questions like, would you do something that makes America a little better, but makes life in a bunch of other countries a little bit worse? My answer is going to generally be like, no, because I care about like people. I look at the people level first. What nation they're from is like generally secondary to their status as just my like fellow humans. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. Now that's kind of like the practical rule in modern society, but I fucking hate that, because it's literally killing us. It's already killing people. It's been killing people. It's gonna kill us all at this point. The rich are too highly taxed. No. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. I'd really love to see the rich stop working so hard because they're getting taxed too much. I'd really just love to see what the fuck they think that would look like. Governments should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Yeah, sure, fuck it. Yeah. As a child, I once went to a theater to see Kangaroo Jack, and the kangaroo doesn't really talk in that movie. And that's bullshit. Those commercials showed a talking kangaroo. It's like 30 seconds of the movie and a dream sequence when the kangaroo talks. The whole rest of the movie is some weird movie that's not really quite aimed at children. Fuck you, Kangaroo Jack. What the fuck company made Kangaroo Jack? What company made that shitty lie of a movie? Wow, I'm realizing I cannot spell kangaroo. Kangaroo Jack. 2003. I was 10. Warner Bros. Fuck you, Warner Bros. How dare you? 2000 crime black comedy. Yeah, so why the fuck was it advertising on Nickelodeon? But was universally panned by critics who criticized the acting, directing, writing, humor, violence, and innuendos, especially for a family film, and false advertising. Did you ever see Kangaroo Jack, baby?
No.
See, in the commercial, it's like a talking kangaroo. Whoa. In the real movie, there's one scene where the human character got like hit in the head, so he has a dream scene for like 30 seconds, and in his dream scene the kangaroo talks. Whole rest of the movie, it's just a fucking kangaroo.
Oh wait, I did see that movie. It was disappointing.
Should the business that lied to those children be punished?
Yeah,
I say yay. I say yay. Punish them. I want to see them in stocks. I want to see them in a stock getting Rotten Tomatoes thrown at their face for at least a week. Rotten Tomatoes, 8%. Yeah. Alright, we won't, this won't be the Kangaroo Jack stream. A genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. So let's see. So this is one of those ones where, yeah, it's like, what is a genuine free market? I mean, I don't know what that means, because I think there's this like inherent tension in capitalism that if a company wins hard enough, absent any sort of overriding like government regulation that would force it, it's really easy for the winning company to just become a monopoly, and then you end up with like all the economics being divided up into various monopolistic business kingdoms, the same way that like land got divided up between different powerful kingdoms, in like the medieval ages and arguably the current day. So, in terms of restricting the ability of, literally using the word, so if the question's using the word predator multinationals to create monopolies, then in line with that great Republican Theodore Roosevelt, I'm going to agree. When it comes to this stream, if you've listened to the rhetoric I use, I'm past the speaking softly phase. I think the speak softly era died a few decades ago, at least, and I'm definitely in the stick swinging mode. All right, page 3. Shit, I'll try to go faster. It's fine though. Now let's look at at some of your personal social values. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Strongly disagree. I think if someone wants an abortion, they should be able to get one. All authority should be questioned. Yeah, you run into real big problems if you can't do that, so anarchism, woo. An eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Let's see, do I disagree or strongly disagree? I'll say strongly disagree. It's a tricky thing with this where I think it's just, I think it's just like an inbuilt, it's like a kind of natural, like biological bias that like humans have, where it's like we want to do that kind of shit. Like it feels really right to like do that kind of eye for an eye stuff. So it's like, I get it, because I think just like every human inherently like gets that. But, and it's the kind of thing where you gotta remember that it's like humans, evolutionarily, our biology is kind of built for like small tribes, like under 200 people, everyone knows everyone, close social bonds. So that's where it gets to stuff where it's like, okay, if the one dude pisses in another guy's food because he's mad at him, then like, okay, maybe the dude whose food gets pissed on, like, he gets to punch you once in the gut really hard. Like, okay, eye for an, some kind of, but it's like on the bigger, broader social, you run into, because then you run into stuff where it's like, hey, what if you're someone like Bernie Madoff, who's like, who kind of like scammed and cheated people out of hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars? It's like, what the fuck does eye for an eye get you there? Like, and just so, it's not like something I want in a law system. There's a reason we moved beyond the Code of Hammurabi. Taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. Given that I don't like capitalism at fucking all, and so in my ideal society, this wouldn't even be that much of a concern. There could be, theaters and museums should exist on a democratic basis. They should exist because enough people want them to exist in the way and capacity they do. You know, that's... I think I've said before on one of these streams, but like a couple weeks ago, I went to the big main art museum in Chicago, and like, it was really neat there. I barely even saw any of the place. It was so fucking huge. I spent like over an hour in the arms and armor, like, little room section chunk, and I still didn't even see anything in there. I only looked at like half of the guns they had. They had a whole bunch of old muskets and pistols, and you get the weird old pistols that have like 4 barrels on them, so they can fire 4 shots before they have to reload. That like a fucking knight, you know, an armored knight, but with like a fucking gun in his hand, like a Full Metal Cowboy. That shit's awesome. I love having a place where I can go and look at that stuff. And yeah, I mean, you get the whole capitalist issue of the whole system, like, sucking money up towards a few people at the top, which makes it kind of hard for the general broad mass to actually, like, show any real support for the arts because they don't have any fucking money. Which is why it's that whole, like, thing where in the past that a lot of art was done by, like, patronage. So it's why a lot of like the old artwork we have is like portraits of rich people, because who can afford to pay a guy to spend 2 months painting a portrait of you? Like, you gotta be pretty wealthy to pull that off in the first place. Schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. Okay, I think I'm going to say agree. My standard here would be, I would want education to be compulsory, because I think that's just kind of like a necessary bedrock that the society needs to function. That's one of the, you know, something like being educated is something where I'm willing. I tend not to take a lot of stances like these, but it's one of those, like, it is actually for your own good. Like, being educated is for your own fucking good. You should be educated, and the best time that can happen is when you're a kid. Doesn't mean there aren't a lot of problems with schools, but on this, I'm going to say agree, because classroom attendance is a very specific thing. You know, just speaking from the American perspective, I know there's a lot of issues with our homeschooling system, because it's like different states regulate in different ways. In some states, it's like there's very little standards, and it's really easy to just do like religious indoctrination with very little actual education, but still like be passing and qualifying for homeschooling, and that's bad. But I can, like, someone could, you know, it's like or we had during COVID lockdown, you know, I wasn't in school, so I was like working from home, but, you know, again, there were troubles with it, but, you know, as far as I'm aware, I mean, some students, I'm sure some of them actually did really like and benefit from being able to do remote classes, being able to just like be in their bedroom and go to class through their laptop. I mean, shit, as a high schooler, I probably would have loved that. Holy hell, would have been able to get some naps in during the day. Have a midday jerk off break, because you don't want to jerk off in a school bathroom. That's not a good environment to jerk one out. It is not a good environment in a school bathroom. You don't that's the kind of stuff you do once, and that's like, I should just not bother with that again. So I'll say the agree on the classroom attendance is a separate thing from the actual education itself. And also, I remember in college, when college classes would have like mandatory attendance, but then it was like a really easy class where you'd want to ditch classes because it was like a really, really easy class that you could just read the book. That kind of mandatory attendance shit would piss me off, because it's like, I'm literally going to come to the class and just do work for some other class, or just fuck around on my phone, because like I already did the lesson. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people should keep to their own kind. Yeah, that's basically, I don't know, if this question takes you more than like 5 seconds, you might be a reactionary. Because, like, that's just... Again, I'm recalling the Vosh video on Michael Knowles, where I think, like, Michael Knowles had to, like, sit there for a second and, like, think about how he wanted to interpret what that question was really saying. Whereas, strongly disagree. Fuck that. Anyone who talks like this, I don't know, smack him in the mouth. You're being a bitch. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. See, have to is a very strong phrasing, so I'm gonna go towards disagree. Because I don't like the phrasing of, like, you have to. Like, there was no alternative. Because just, I don't know, off the top of my head, I mean, you could make a kid stand in a corner and face the wall for 5 minutes. Kids hate that shit, too. Like, you don't even have to spank them to do that, and, like, it just... You know, the phrase, like, have to, like... Oh, but what if they drew on the wall with crayon? Then you like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Not, it's like, yeah, I mean, you could just, like, you know, potentially try talking to them. Just, yeah, I'm gonna do the disagree, because it's just I don't like the have to. Because that kind of, like, implies that, like, to not spank your kid in a situation would be bad parenting, which I don't see how that's the case. I mean, I don't know, what if someone's, like, a paraplegic with no arms? Like, they physically can't spank their kids. Like, what does that mean? They can't, like, be a parent? That's fucked up. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. Yeah, this is the kind of one where... Again, I think I recall Michael Knowles getting all tripped up on that because he's, like, an authoritarian, like, Christo-fascist, so he's like, but I'm the god of my household, no one can keep secrets from me, so it's just, it's like, I don't know, I mean, the question, it's not even like, should they, it's just like, is it natural? And it's like, yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, a secret can just be not telling people something. So, like, I mean, yeah, If you show me a random child on Earth, and I have to bet money on whether that child is keeping something secret from their parents, I'm going to always bet yes. Because, yeah, it's one of those kinds of questions, too. It's like the thing you look for a multiple choice test, where it's like, well, a kid could be keeping one secret or 1,000 secrets, and it would still be them keeping secrets, so it's so much easier for a kid to be... There's so many more options that line up on the they are keeping a secret side of it. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. Let's think about that. Ah, damn it, my vape needs to be plugged in. Baby, it ruined my joke. I couldn't vape. My vape died.
Oh no.
Or wait, should not be. Yes, I'm too fucking drunk. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. Now see, in our modern, current capitalist world, I can get that being a big priority. But if I think holistically, you know, I mean, I definitely think equipping you to be able to do useful, productive, societally beneficial things, I think that would definitely always be, like, a criteria. But when I imagine, like, a good... Just think Star Trek. You know, Star Trek's just the easy example, because they're, like, post-scarcity, so it's one of those things where, I don't know, Star Trek's, like, a lot... From what I understand, the Human Federation Star Trek is, like, really far off from capitalism. And it's especially because a lot of the early, like, Star Trek writers and creators were just, like, explicitly left-leaning people. So, you know, that's why a lot of the whole... From what I know, I'm mostly just going off of, like, what I've learned from watching the Red Letter Media videos, because Mike and Jay are, like, fucking obsessed with Star Trek. Mike has like every episode like sealed into his memory, and he can just recall them off of the faintest possible connection. He'll recall an entire Star Trek episode and like derail a discussion on it. But so when I think about that Star Trek future, it seems like just that wouldn't be the prime. The prime function would be something like helping people become their like best and greatest selves. And it's like the job finding would flow from there. So I'm going to strongly disagree because as like the prime function, no, like that's like very capitalism brained. If that's like all you can think of as the purpose for school. Yeah, it's like when the sons of lords 500 years ago were receiving private tutorage, like it wasn't so they could find a job. It was to prepare them for the life they were going to be in and give them skills and knowledge. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. That's just generally, if you're that concerned about people's quality of life, be anti-capitalist. Shit. Like let's solve problems that have really obvious solutions before we like start delving into shit that's like really, really friggin' tricky and complicated and like fraught with moral peril. The most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. Okay, I guess with this it's just, do I strongly disagree or disagree? Because again, that's the kind of like authoritarian right-wing stuff where I just inherently I'm like, the fuck are you guys on about? And just the most important thing, like discipline can certainly be useful. When I took martial arts classes as a teenager, I definitely was learning discipline because I was practicing my kata and I was going up and down the mats practicing my kicks over and over again. The whole Bruce Lee, I fear not the man who has learned 1,000 kicks. I fear the man who has performed one kick 10,000 times. Yeah. Okay, so like discipline's useful, but discipline, like the most important thing, like, I mean, I would at least rank how to not be an asshole as like more important than discipline. So we're gonna have to strong disagree there. Okay. Well, yeah, savage and I mean that's. It's like what is this? Is this like the 1840s? Am I like a British explorer? Okay, yeah, strongly agree. I mean, it's not moral relativism. I think basically every culture on Earth has something shitty with it, and some are shittier than others. The culture of the Saudi royal family, not a good vibe as far as I'm concerned. But I mean, Charles Darwin could have critiqued this kind of fucking language. So, like, really, that's like authoritarian. That's like a honeypot for just being a bigot. Like, I'm just trying to imagine, if you're not a bigot, this should be a really easy fucking question. Okay, this I'm gonna say no on, because able to work is like gonna be really subjective, and just if you get into anything, if you ever do any reading or research about like disability rights or like neuroatypical struggles, just neurodivergence, it's just like, sometimes people's ability to do work or be useful is like really heavily hampered by their environment, and it's not really like, just you're putting people in a situation where they're just naturally like not going to succeed, but it doesn't mean that you can't, it's, if they're like, I don't know, something like refusing the opportunity to me is a way to like look into like, okay, what's the deeper causes here? Because otherwise you get like stuff where it's Okay, that's like... I'm saying disagree instead of strongly disagree, because, I mean, I do have a point where, I mean, yeah, if you're being, like, if you are actually being a lazy dick, then, like, you know, come on, man, we gotta row the boat. But I'm gonna be on the disagree end, because I don't... As far as I'm aware, historically, like, society has not been good at determining this kind of thing. When you are troubled, it's better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. Okay, I'm gonna go disagree, not strongly. With this, it's a whole... It really depends. Because ruminating on stuff you can't affect and can't change is pretty unhelpful, but never thinking about your problems is also a great way to never resolve them. So that gets the soft disagree. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their new country. I'm an American. No. I'm not a capitalist, so no. Okay. I'm going at a slower pace than I thought, so we're going to take a mid-test break here and do another donation. Let's see. Ooh. Okay, let's... it's like it's hard to... Yeah, it's like I want to scroll because it's like, oh, I want to find the person who most needs it, but it's like, they all need it. They all need it. I'm just gonna... yeah. They all need the help. Okay, okay, cancer fund, because... Okay. 41-year-old guy, has a family. Luis Alfredo Martinez. Cancer was detected around 11 years ago. He was getting treatment for it. I don't know why my nose itches. It's annoying me. About a year ago, his health started giving problems. He was forced to stop working and start more intense treatment, which his body did not react well to. The medical experts decided that treatment was not an option for him any longer, and that was hurting him more than helping him. His family decided to look for options, which also has not helped him at all. His health's gotten really bad, and he can't get up on his own, put on shoes, walk. Moving is painful, even speaking. He's now on hospice care. Oh, jeez. Well, definitely sounds like they could all use some friggin' help. So, geez, that's just, look, it's not what you wanna hear. But that's life. That's Earth. That's our Earth. That's my America that we live in. Dying of cancer? Man, shame about those bills then. So let's do more than Elon Musk has ever done for another person by donating $50. Select all the squares of traffic lights. Man, fuck you, Google. Do I click that? Okay, I'm gonna not click that square. Hell yeah, you better have accepted that. Alright, post it to Facebook. It's been posted. And there we go. Billionaire Buster. I don't know why my nose is so fucking itchy today. I don't know how it looks on webcam, it's just my nose keeps like feeling itchy. All right, there's a person helped. There's my political compass test. All right, I want to be able to sit down in a room with Jeff Bezos. I want him to have his credit card out, and I want to be able to just put my hands on his shoulders while he goes through each and every single one of these and fills up the fucking bar. All right, that's my politics right now. That's what I want to make happen in the world. Page 4 of 6. How do you see the wider society? Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. I'm an American, so yeah, we really fucked that all up. A significant advantage of a one-party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay I don't even know what the fuck that would mean. No. I mean, I also literally just hate, like, every fucking cop in America, so, no. The death penalty should be an option. Not the way we apply it. We just kill innocent people. Look into the Innocence Project. Look at the number of people who were on death row and were then exonerated of all their crimes. Hey, personally, I would, I have this thing where I can, like, imagine how I would feel if I was in another person's, like, situation. I call it shoe walking. And if I imagine being executed by the state for a crime you didn't commit, my heart feels a little bit when I walk a mile in those moccasins. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. Yeah, that's the thing with it's like the right-winger, left-wing split, where it's like this like hierarchy mindset, where it's like right-wingers seem to think there's like a natural hierarchy, and that like deviating from it is that's where you get all the conservatives who think like if we make progress on racism, then we're gonna like have a society where the black people are on top and they're discriminating against the white people because that's like the only fucking way they can conceive of a society. It's like they're the kind of people who would look at the French Revolution and be like, oh no, all these peasants are going to try to fit themselves upon the throne, and like not realize that people are trying to actually change the fucking system. Just I don't know what it is about certain simians that makes their like imagination so goddamn blunt and like neutered. But yeah, also just the general lefty and anarchist in me is like, ha ha ha, if someone said this to me again, I'd probably want to just smack him in the face, because like, I don't know, obey me then, bitch. Lol. It's like anytime some old crusty conservative talks about how back in his day men were men, and it's just like, I will literally fight you and I will snap you over my knee like Bane. Like, you're a crusty old dinosaur. You should not be talking about how real men were tough and could fight. Like, I will do a Mortal Kombat 1 Sub-Zero fatality on Dennis Prager. Alright? His body is held together by dust and hate. Like, it wouldn't be hard. In Mortal Kombat. I would play Mortal Kombat 1 arcade at the cabinet against Dennis Prager, and I would play Sub-Zero, and I would do the fatality against him. Yeah, that one. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered art at all. I don't even know what the fuck that would mean, so like, no. Because then it's just like, that's just kind of dumb, because it's like, but what does like a tie-dye shirt represent? Like, I consider like a tie-dye pattern on a shirt to be like art. I've made tie-dye shirts at summer camp before. I don't know what it represents, but I like a tie-dye shirt. And if it's not at all visible, I guess I should just, my shirt here says Aloha, and it has a rooster on it, and then it says Maui. I can't remember if I've mentioned this, but my dad lives in Maui, so I sometimes get Hawaii-themed stuff from him as gifts. Criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. Why? It is a waste of time to try to rehabilitate some criminals. I'm gonna start, because I think even if you fail, the effort to rehabilitate would provide, like, if it's like ultimately if the end result of it was that it was just a complete failure and the person like just had to be in jail forever because they're like going to be a psycho murderer, I still think the effort to attempt to rehabilitate them would still end up like getting you a lot of useful insights and research that would then go on to help other people. Because it's one of those things. It's like the same thing with medical conditions where there can be a medical condition that we don't have a cure for, but like through attempts to, ease the pain and suffering of the patient, you can end up developing a better understanding of how that disease works, and that can like eventually build up to progress in like really fighting the disease. So, it's, and on the kind of level of stuff where like prison rehabilitation happens, where that's like a very like broad government thing, I'm not gonna like take a stance that we like shouldn't even bother, like, because that just sounds like bad policy. No. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I don't know what the fuck a business person even is. I feel like if all the people with business degrees disappeared, like, there'd be less traffic. I'm not sure what else we would notice as, like, the real problem beyond, like, traffic's a bit faster now. Mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. Or what? Or what, you fucking psychos? Multinational companies are unethically exploiting the plant genetic resources of developing countries. See, now the first half and the back quarter of the sentence, if you just showed me these parts, I would bet my money that I would agree with whatever the middle part of the sentence was. But I'm running into a problem of I don't really know what exactly the fuck that means. Okay, there's a specific Wikipedia page. Plant genetic resources describe the variability within plants that come from human natural selection over time. Over their conservation and use. Much of the material for breeding programs was collected from the southern hemisphere and sent to gene banks in the northern hemisphere for research to find genes for drought, weather and to what extent are subject to international. Okay, given the general history of multinational companies being unethical towards developing countries, I'm going to say agree, with the reason that I'm not doing strongly agree, because I really don't know anything specific about this to actually, to say if like I don't know if this is like a bait question to be like, am I just going to say I'm anti-company, like, for anything? Like, is this like a bait question? Is this like when you ask a conservative if they agree with General Alden's plan for an Afghanistan pullout and they say yes, and then you ask them who the fuck they think General Alden is? Have you ever seen that clip, baby?
Yeah.
Where Vosh brings that up on like the debate panel, and the guy's like, yeah, I mean, I think that sounded interesting too. It's like General Alden's plan. Making peace with the estate. What the fuck does that mean? What decrepit, boring boomer with a rotten brain dribbled out that filth? Again, I don't know. If someone says something that's stupid, you should just smack the spit out of their mouth. It's not doing them any good. No. Right, yeah, not astronomy. Okay. If you got through that okay, you'll find these propositions on religion a breeze. Yeah, I probably will. Wrong. 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 That's... No. No. I don't have a child. You fucking idiots. Also, wrong. Fuck religion. What the fuck's a religious value? Secular humanism for the win. Finally, a look at sex. Yes, please. Sex outside marriage is usually immoral. Oh, yeah, says who? Fuck off. A same-sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be... Yeah. Yeah, agree. Okay, agree with that one. Okay, I don't know why I'm thinking about that one. That was just that one's just obviously an agree. Yeah, pretty much. Gonna be, you know, for all the times in my life I've seen Republicans go on about a topic of this nature, I've never once thought they were fucking close. Try telling that to the homosexuals. It was illegal to fuck men and they were still doing it. I mean, goddamn, how much more commitment to fucking to hanging with the fellas do you want from these people? You know, they created underground clubs and societies where they could discreetly meet up and fuck men. Like, fucking salute our heroes there in sexual freedom. These days, old man yells at cloud. No, we haven't gone anywhere far enough. People are still way too weird and repressed. About the political compass. Well, yeah, I mean, left-right is definitely just like a fucking bad joke. I think I've seen some alternatives that seem... There's lots of interesting... It's not perfect. All of this is, you know... Okay, anyway. Yep. Alright, baby. Guess where I ended up.
I mean, I can just see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No surprises. No surprises here. I'm in the bottom left. I guess I am 1 point more libertarian than I am economically left. That's about it. I'm interested to see your results on this test, baby.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Want me to link it to you? Or if you just look up politicalcompass.org.
Yeah.
It's the one. Okay. Well, yeah, no surprises. I was somewhere around. This is the last time I remember taking the test. This is where I usually end up. All right. Let's see. How long? Okay. So, yeah, because it's been an hour and 20 minutes, we're going to do one more donation. We'll watch a quick Doug Stanhope clip from 12 years ago. I'll do one more donation first, though. And then we'll call that the end of stream. Show more. I love the suffering and tragedy. I love that it falls on people, regular people like me, to help because our billionaires have abandoned us. They don't care. Every billionaire is okay with every single one of these people getting lined up against a wall and shot. Every billionaire is perfectly okay with that happening. They do not care otherwise. So, let's find out. Well, you know what? I'm feeling sympathetic towards Hawaii. Oh, jeez. Okay, it sounds like this lady might just be in the... I hate opening one up and then not picking it, but just... Nothing against them. Just I don't know. I want to. It seems like Jordan might have a bit more of a road to recovery here, so I'm feeling like which one do I shoot? Which one do I shoot? Yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't have to make choices like this. I'm just a guy with a tech degree. I shouldn't be choosing who lives or dies on GoFundMe. That's really fucked, actually. My dear sister Jordan was involved in a terrible accident a few weeks back while riding her motorcycle to work. She was hit by a car and pinned in underneath it for 20 minutes in excruciating pain. Yeah, sounds like... Jeez, that's... God, that's awful. Jordan has had to deal with multiple fractures, shatters, and dislocations in her lower body and has been through multiple surgeries since she's been hospitalized. As excited as she is to be back home soon, life unfortunately doesn't pause for things such as this. Well, not in capitalist America, it doesn't. You don't work, you get to just die. It will be a long, tough road for her recovery, and the stress of dealing with funds at home is another thing she'll be faced with. Jordan and our family are already very grateful for the love and support so far. You ever notice that everyone is just, like, really, like, genuinely happy to, like, be receiving any, like, they're so... If from one day to the next, Elon Musk gains $5 billion more in his net worth because of stock fluctuations, like... Do you think Elon Musk feels even like a tenth the personal fulfillment and satisfaction that like Jordan and her family are gonna feel when they hit that $10,000 goal? Like, you know, if I could press a button to take $7,000 out of Elon Musk's bank account and put into fucking Jordan's GoFundMe here, I'd hit that button, and I wouldn't care if it made Mr. Musk sad that his money had to go and help one of his fellow fucking humans. Alright. Jeez. I'm saying the F word a lot. No, not that one, the fuck one. Okay, and the GoFundMe tab. There. I don't know why it's like so warm in my apartment. I have the AC on. Or apartment house. I don't know why it's like so warm in here. As soon as the stream's over, I'm taking the shirt off. Sorry, ladies and fellas. Sorry, people who are interested in male bodies. I don't want to take the shirt off before the stream ends. I don't know how YouTube feels about such things. Alright, push that on the Facebook, pull it up again. Just now, Billionaire Buster, hell yeah. Way to go, this guy, fucking, you know, helping people when they ask for help. Like, it's pretty cool. It's rather based. And you know what? I thought of this real quick before we do the Doug Stanhope. I'm going to just look up a quote I really like. I'm going to look it up over here because I can't remember it exactly. Okay, yeah. Here's a quote I like. I guess it's by Mr. Anatole France. And you know, it's a quote where I think it invites one to reflect upon society. What is it with websites and doing pop-ups like this? Like I'm on the spectrum, man. I just they're all getting closed. I'm not reading them. I don't fucking care. I learned how to filter out advertisements when I was a kid watching TV, all right? I don't. It's not working. But here's the quote. The law, in its majestic equality, forbids rich and poor alike to sleep under bridges, to beg in the streets, and to steal their bread. Worth considering. Very much worth considering. Alright, let's end up just a little bit. Hope I don't hit like a copy. Oh, you know what? This video doesn't have a bunch of views on YouTube, so I do it at the end of stream. If it gets a copyright or something, I'll just edit it out. I did that on one of the streams before when I was watching anime clips at the end. But let's let Mr. Stanhope have a 2 minutes.
But back to nationalism. Nationalism does nothing but teach you how to hate people that you never met, and all of a sudden you take pride in accomplishments you had no part in whatsoever, and you brag about, you know, like the Americans, you go, fuck the French. Fuck the French. If we hadn't have saved their ass in 2 world wars, they'd be speaking German right now. You go, oh, was that us? That was us? Was that me and you, Tommy? We saved the French? Jesus. I know I blacked out a little bit after that 4th shot of Jägermeister last night, but I don't remember. I know we went through the Wendy's drive-thru. We were going to get one of them fresh cheddar sandwiches. It looked so alluring on the commercial, but then we ordered it and realized we had no money, and we had to ditch out before the second window. And those douchebags in line behind us with the bass music probably got our order, and out. We laughed about that, but I don't remember saving the French. I went through the last 10 calls on my cell phone, and there's nothing incoming or outgoing to the French looking for muscle on a project. I checked my pants. There's no mud stains on the knees from where we were garroting krauts in the trenches at Verdun. I think we didn't do anything but watch sports bloopers while we got hammered. I think we should shut the fuck up.
That'll get a like from me. Doug Stanhope. Doug Stanhope has some great stand-up. And yeah, alright, good. I think she's alive. At least she's alive, because so well, that, I don't know if she's gonna walk again. Fuck, man, that's, you know, it can happen to anyone. It can just, it can happen to you. Doesn't matter who and how you are as a person. This can just happen to fucking anyone. It's, you know, Princess Diana died in a car crash. All right, like, shit, man. Try to make society a little nicer towards each other, you know. Let's maybe not base society around selfishness and the pursuit of money. That might actually be a somewhat rotten foundation to, like, you know, hedge our entire society's existence upon. Just saying. But yeah, so with that, that'll be the end of this stream. I've had fun. I hope if you see this, you feel a bit motivated to, you know, maybe go, maybe you know, shoot an email or send a letter to your local capitalist oligarch and ask them why they're not doing more. I'm Alex. I'm Billionaire Busting. I'll be back in a week to do it again. But goodbye for now.